Hi, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Body. Today, Anna and I are answering some of your questions around all things health, fitness, diet. We put a poll out on Instagram. So if you didn't see that, we will be posting another one. But thank you to those who did submit your questions because I think that nothing is more important than ensuring that we're covering the topics that interest you and answering the questions, at least from our perspective, that you guys have. Oh,
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're excited.
I love it. Thank you so much, everyone who just spent the time and went there and sent the question. We are so excited to.
We got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of questions, and we actually just chose 4 because we didn't want to make this episode too long. But in future episodes, we'll be answering the other questions along with others that we get from our poll or from DMs or from our YouTube channel. So we didn't prepare for these. Anna and I are just going to answer them honestly from our perspective. I think some things we'll probably agree on. Maybe some things we'll have a different take on, but nonetheless,
Yes.
Here we go with our first question. Okay. So I've never been to the gym before. How do I get started? And why I think this is a great question is because the gym is quite overwhelming. And also, there are a million ways to get your workouts in, right? Whether that be like home workouts from an app on YouTube, like other classes like Orange Theory or F45 or CrossFit, things like that I think people are accustomed to doing. But when you step foot into a gym, especially if it's your first time, or even if it's like a new gym, you're like, holy shit, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I start? And obviously you're a trainer, so your perspective will be very interesting, and then I'll give mine. But let's start with you. How do you suggest somebody get started if they are new to the gym?
I think the first thing is you need to see what your level. If you are coming from a sedentary life, you are not doing anything, you are overweight, or you have any special condition, you need to look for some beginning exercise. So let's say you go to the gym. So I'm gonna recommend you start doing some, cardio. Put yourself, use it to go, right? Because it is, as you said, can be overwhelming when you're walking in the gym and you see everyone working out, using the machines. And if is that gonna be your first time, is that first the habit to go to the gym and do exercise, basic exercise, some cardio. And I highly recommend you look for a professional if you have no knowledge, even it's not from the gym, but someone who gonna do your online, be your online coach. Or if you like haven't been before and you kind of have some experience, go to YouTube, watch some exercise, some videos, get some knowledge, so you're not gonna get yourself hurt. Because again, if you never be in the gym, not going try to do like leg, it's what I see there. At the same day, the person do like leg workout, back workout, do core, do abs. It's not a good way, because first, it's not right to do that. Second, it's not sustainable. You're gonna be so sore at the day after, and 2 days later you're not gonna even see it because you're gonna overdo it. So I recommend you start, see your level. You beginning, do beginning exercise, look for exercise for beginners. If you're like, okay, I have done before a few years ago, you can like put yourself first to work out and then start make some challenge. Again, knowledge is freedom. So find the best way for yourself and get some knowledge, so you're not going to get overwhelmed, because otherwise you're going to feel lost and the chance you not come back is huge. So, and it's mostly the people doesn't come back, don't most of the people don't come back because of that. They go there and they overwhelmed, they feels like, okay, that is not for me, and they leave. So I recommend the first step is see your level and, go for knowledge, have some plans, some strategies, so you can, feel like you're doing something right and you're gonna be safe and you're gonna get results.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And I do have like a slightly different perspective, just as I'm like reflecting on, okay, if when I was new to the gym, like what did I do? And I love the idea about creating a plan. And I know when I first went to the gym, even when I first went to our gym, I walked in and I was like, what do I do here? I had been working out at home in my home gym for a long time. And it's been a long time since I've been in the gym. And so one thing that I did was ask the front desk to take me on a tour around the gym so I can understand like where all the machines are. Like, okay, if I want to do legs, here's where the majority of the leg machines sit, back, shoulder, etc. Right? So that was really helpful. So I wasn't as overwhelmed. I could say, okay, at least I know where to go if all else fails. Right? I think if you're new to the gym, it is really important to have a plan prior to stepping in. So what do you want to do? Do you want to build your overall muscle tone? Do you want to work on your glutes or your legs or your shoulders? Like what is it that you want to accomplish? Do you want to just burn calories? But there are a number of different ways that you can research that. One being like on YouTube. So, before I even like thought about getting a trainer or any of that, I would just say like, okay, YouTube, like shoulder workout. What are some exercises I can do for shoulder? And then I would do that the night, make that plan the night before for the next day when I go to the gym. And I would find that section of the gym where I can do those exercises. And another thing I felt like was really effective when I was there exercising was looking at what the people around me are doing. And I actually still do that. I still look around to see like, oh, that's how they're using that machine. And I can sort of like work out in my head what muscle that they're trying to work with that.
And get some ideas. And I'm so picky about I always say about asking for help, because in Brazil we have a totally different culture about this. You don't go to this gym and see what we see here. It's so it is terrible.
You mean with people's forms and technique?
Yes.
Yeah.
In Brazil it's different. Now the gym has people who work for the gym and they are teachers. So they are not a trainers, but they do your workout plan for the month. They not in your side, but they teach you how to do it. Babe,
We don't do that here.
it's a terrible.
Yeah.
What I see is people doing exercise with a wrong form, and it's why I'm not trying to promote the trainer service over here. It's not my point, but come on.
I think that there's a lot of value to having a trainer, of course, but the majority of people aren't going to get a trainer.
but
They just want to hop in the gym whenever
but
they
they're
can.
also not gonna watch the video. They're also not gonna get a good form. They're also gonna get injuries. They also can have a very hard. You can lose your movements by to do something wrong at the gym.
Of course.
So I always recommend at the top, especially for a beginning, because what I see is people doing even lateral rise for shoulders wrong, and you're not active in the muscle. You're losing time.
Yeah.
You know, and again, of course, sometimes you cannot afford, so do what she did, but 10% do what you did.
It's not even that maybe people can't afford it, but like, some people just want to hop in the gym without having an appointment. Some people just want to go get it done whenever they can. It's not always convenient to have a trainer.
But it has online coach, has someone who can help you. You're gonna send videos for your coach. You're gonna see your form, and I'm telling you that, babe, because I see you are 10% of people who could do so long by yourself, and you can still doing it. But look at how many things we need to improve in your form, and your body was already used to doing the other way. Exactly because you have done so long by yourself. And I did my whole prep with online coach. But at least I had someone over there watching my form, even in videos sometimes. Yeah. And I say that it's just because I really worry about it, how sometimes I see thing can happen. And guys, go to the gym. It's very important, but you need to be careful, okay? Or
Yeah.
you can get injuries.
So I think that we both agree that you set a plan. So what are your goals that you're trying to accomplish in the gym? There's a lot of research that you can do to learn the exercises, learn the form, whether that be a trainer, YouTube, an online coach, app, different ways to perfect your technique and form. Have the front desk walk you through and then start to do some exercises on your own, which you feel comfortable with, maybe that you've had experience with, or you feel like are within your level. Watch people around you and see how they're using certain machines. And the more you go, the more accustomed that you'll get to the gym and to the exercises and to the equipment, and the more you'll feel comfortable. But also know, like, everyone starts out like not knowing what to do. Like I just said, when I joined the current gym that I go to, I walked in and I was like, what do I do? And everybody is like that.
I felt the same.
Yeah. And now even when I see people at the gym that are kind of like looking around, like they're kind of lost, I always say something to try to help them. Like, can I help you find something? Or what are you looking for?
Yeah.
And, everybody's been there. So don't feel self-conscious, right? Like, and just know nobody cares about what you're doing at the gym. Everybody cares about themselves.
Yeah,
only.
you should be so focused on your work that you couldn't even look to that. But yeah, I think it's good. It's have your plan, and everything gonna go.
Yeah. Just go. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. This question says, when I'm actively going to the gym, how often should I rest? And can you explain the importance of rest? And I like this question. I think it's great. I think that we should tackle this question in 2 parts. Like, how many rest days should I be taking? And also, I think we should talk about how much rest you should be taking in between sets while you're at the gym.
I want to say first that both of us, we are a bodybuilder. I mean, I'm retired, but we have this background that maybe for you is going to be like a little bit a lot, but honestly,
A little bit a lot.
Yeah, because we work out 5-6 days a week easily.
Yeah.
And it's hard when I need to give you like a day off. You're like, no,
But we need it and we recognize it in each other. So I think it's important.
And that is the thing. For me, you need to listen your body. I think that is very important. Very, very important. Because yes, your muscle needs to rest. That means that you cannot work out every day the same muscle. You need to give at least 24 hours or more. Like the ideal is 2 days, 48 hours to rest so they can grow. If how the muscle grow? The muscle grow when they are recovering. They don't grow when you're doing the rep. You broken the fibers there. When you go home and you eat and you rest, your body is recovering the fibers that you just broke at the workout. And it's why you need the time. Otherwise, you're going to be broken, and your muscle not going to have time enough to recover and the way to grow. So I recommend you always have it again, the bodybuilder background. We have 1 day for back, 1 day for shoulders, 1 day for Andrea, let's say. She work out 3 times a week her lower body, but we have a very good strategy to make her not overdo it. It's the same for her upper body. So now she does 5 days, right? And rest 2 days, but she still be active on those 2 days. That means that she does cardio, she walks around a lot, but she gave her body a rest, right? But sometimes she needs like a longer break. Not in prep.
Sometimes I want a longer break. I don't get it. No, but I do. I think that rest is so important. Like, not just your off days, but your sleep, right? It's just very, very important for recovery. But I do think that there are different levels of fitness that require different levels of rest. Like, for example, if you're new to working out, if you're growing new muscle, you probably need more rest than somebody who's a more advanced lifter, because your muscles are new, because it's more strenuous on your body to build new muscle, and so you might feel like you're a little bit more fatigued.
And it's gonna be hard to work out like 2 days later. So yeah, sometimes because if you are not prepared for a good workout, you shouldn't do it.
Right, exactly. But for somebody like me, when I go in and, I work out with Anna, who kills me on a Monday morning, by Wednesday, so 2 days later, I'm ready to do lower body again, not because, like my body is sore, my body is tired, but just because I have more experience with heavy lifts, more experience with like knowing how my body feels, that I know I can go 2 days later and push it.
And also, she has a very, very good body muscle mind connection. That means we can that way isolate a lot the muscle that we are work on, and that is something that we need to say because it is what make you different than most of the people. Most people, I'm gonna say like, no, maybe you should have Monday and Fridays, because it is hard. You need to rest a little bit more your muscle. But Andrea has the ability to, work out her glutes and feel the glutes, not feel the hams or the quads, because that happen. And it's why we found my clients. I try to teach and to help them to get it to the level because that makes better results.
I think that's actually really true. And if you put that in the sense of like, let's say I'm going to do shoulders one day and I'm going to do back the next day, back the next day. If you're not really having that mind muscle connection in your shoulder workout, you're going to recruit other muscles in your upper body, right?
Exactly.
Your biceps and just, maybe your lats. And so if you don't have that strong muscle mind connection in your shoulder workout, when you get to your back workout the following day, your muscles could be fatigued already. Your biceps could be fatigued, your lats could be fatigued, and you're not feeling, you're not optimizing that time or feeling well rested and maybe strong as you normally would in that workout.
And I really think before anybody thinks about to go heavy, they should thinking about to have a better mind and muscle connection, because doesn't matter how heavy you go if you're not working properly the muscle. If your power lift is other thing, but if you are trying to build in a muscle and it's why you are going heavy, you first building that connection, you first understand how this happened, and then you make the step to increase the weight. Because it's why I like to ask you guys, you feeling here where you feel when you do, because that is very important.
And I think a great example of this is when we did a couple upper body sessions together, back sessions, and I was working at that time on building my lats. And my technique wasn't great. I was going heavier, but I was recruiting a lot of my biceps, which was not my point. And I didn't want my biceps to grow. So you at that point taught me how to really have mind muscle connection. Well, you do all the time with glutes, but you taught me in that instance how to have better mind muscle connection with my lats, which may be a little bit more harder of a muscle to fill, but what it should be feeling like. And then what occurred to me is like, I don't need to go as heavy. I'm going heavy, but I'm recruiting all these other muscles that aren't my intention. And it's making my workouts less effective for my goal, right? So when we're talking about mind muscle connection, for those of you who may not know or may want to know how to get that, it's what's your intention for the exercise? And it's really trying to recruit those muscles in your form in each rep and thinking about like, okay, am I feeling it in that intended space and that intended muscle? And if you're not, then adjusting your technique, adjusting your form, adjusting the weight, usually maybe going down a little bit or even maybe going up, but to make sure that you're feeling it in that specific desired location.
And I want to say, the question was about breast, but what we want to hear is to bring the information. So sometimes one thing is gonna bring another topic, and I hope you guys are enjoy and is following us, because it is important, because when we answer this kind of question, it's depend.
It's not just black and white, one straight answer.
You should have rest. You should work out 2 days and rest one can be an alternative. You should do like 5 days and rest two. Should could be a good one for you. So it's depend, and is everything is gonna depend your level. If you are at the beginning, if you are already in advance, you are prepped for a show.
Did you get enough sleep the night before? How was your, there are so many things I think to consider, so many factors, but I think a good rule of thumb is to get to know your body. Listen to your body, because it's going to give you some cues as to whether or not it's ready and prepared to take you through your next workout, or if you need another rest day. And it's hard to really put that into words, what that feeling feels like. But if your body is just tired and you're like, I just cannot see myself going through this next workout, then give yourself an extra day to rest, because it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt you to rest extra, unless that becomes a habit and you just fall off working out altogether.
Yeah,
but
that cannot be an excuse at all. But also, don't go and take out the pre-workout and everything, and it's just gonna become an health cycle.
Wait, you're saying don't take pre-workout?
No, I mean, you should take. If you take, I'm not against about it. But let's say you're very tired and you want to do it and you overtake.
If your body's tired, your body's telling you you're tired, don't go and take some pre-workout to push through it. Give yourself the rest. Yeah.
Otherwise, the other day going to be the same, and you're going to see yourself in a cycle that it has not end. And you're never going to feel able again to have a good workout in, because you are exhausted.
I do think also, so I guess generally we can agree 2 days a week off is a good rest time in general for the majority of people.
Yeah, even you're going to do 2 days and rest one, or if you're going to rest in the weekend, because you have like other things to do in your life, and also you want to use the rest and don't overdo it at the gym. So rest is important, physically and mental, otherwise you start to go crazy. And when you're talking about the rest between the sets, that I think it's a very good point too. Also depend how you feel. Let's say you are doing an exercise, a hip thrust, like Andrea, very heavy, with a lot of weight. She's gonna need more time to recover. It's heavy. Your muscle needs more than a minute to recover. Are you ready to do a good set? It is the time. But don't overdo it. Please.
It's very easy to overdo the rest time. In fact, I would bet that most of us take way more rest than we need when we're working out with ourselves, or even sometimes with a trainer, with the exception of you.
Yeah, I don't do it. Even on myself, I put the timer.
Well, and I think that this is a great tip. So 2 things that I did to determine how much rest I need in between sets. The first one is my heart rate. I put a lot of emphasis and focus on my heart rate, because my heart rate goes up really high, and I just like, that's a piece of and sometimes I'm like, I'm borderline dying, I think, but like
mine is already dead, not going high, not even when I'm running.
I know, and mine goes so high, but I in particular like that piece of data. So I like to know what zones I'm working in always. So I track my heart rate. So if my heart rate's like in the 140s or 50s or even in the 30s, I wait for it to come down. For me, it's like in the 120s or below, and I feel comfortable to do the next rep. Why? Because I want to make sure that my heart rate is low enough where I can give another 110% to my next set. I don't want to feel like I'm pushing myself where my heart rate is so high and my reps are not as good, not as strong.
And your muscle is not resting off, and they cannot take it, and you're gonna miss a good part of the workout. So again, If you're going heavy, give yourself a longer break. Feel yourself.
Yeah.
Also, that is going to be different for my heart doesn't go high. I go like, I put like 12, 14 plates on the leg press and like 145. Like, come on. I need to burn. And well, that's okay. I'm very good at conditioning, right? And also, it is different, just different for me. Tennis for Andrea, tennis for probably for you. So yes, I think is the safe and better way is feel your body. Do you think you can do the next rep? Good, do it. But again, please don't go for your cell phone. Don't go for social media. That is a dopamine that you get immediately when you open your cell phone. And then it's going to be hard to get back to focus on your workout because that is going to be more interesting than finish your set. So don't do it.
Don't do it. I just literally cannot. Just do not use your cell phone at the gym. And don't get me wrong, I pull mine out every now and then. I'm checking something, but it's very rare. And I don't even answer my phone 90% of the time when I'm at the gym. Some exceptions, but it's my off time to the world. You owe yourself the hour to disconnect from all your text messages, from your phone calls, from your emails, and from social media. Focus on yourself and what you have in front of you.
My clients know better. No cell phone allowed. I don't use it myself. And if you are at the gym working out using the machine is in your phone, you better
get off that machine.
You better go for another place because we don't do there. These there.
The second thing I was going to mention, which is what you taught me, such a good habit, is to time myself in between sets. So I put the timer on my Apple Watch and I will give myself, if it's a hard set, I'll give myself like a minute in between. If it's not, if it's something I can do like fairly easily, like let's say I'm doing like shoulder lateral raises, 30 seconds. And don't get me wrong, I am guilty of taking, time and looking around and talking and like whatever, changing the song on my, on my AirPods, but like get it done. You want it to be challenging. You want your muscles to be tired and fatigued, but I think that listen to your body, and the best way you can listen to your body is by not being distracted by your cell phone.
Yes.
Okay. And I wanted to make one point about the days off, because I think we talked a lot about what the optimal rest time is, but I think it's worth it to note that you can overwork yourself very easily. And I do feel like there's a segment of women of us who just want to like go at 100% every day of the week, with weights and with cardio and like all this stuff. But like your body will be run down and it will stop working optimally, right? Like your muscles will feel fatigued. Your recovery will be subpar, and you're just going to be pushing through this pain because mentally you're strong. Mentally you want to work out. Mentally you want to keep going, but you need to listen to your body because there is a point of diminishing returns. Meaning if you overwork your body so much, the results are going to start decreasing. You're not going to see that the results that you're actually looking and working so hard for.
Yeah.
You agree? We do see women who just like go, 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 go.
Yeah, it's just the addiction for the active and, always want to look better and get better and look skinnier. And no, it's a lifestyle. It needs to be sustainable. And it's why you need to have your body function for the other things. We love the gym. It's not like, everything that we have in life. So yeah. I agree 100%.
And I'm there too sometimes when I'm like,
every day I need to kick that bitch out.
Well, even on Saturday, I'm like, I could go to the gym because like we have some time, but I'm like, no, my body needs to rest. And so does my mind. I need to like, invest my time and energy into something else for the sake of,
She finished the workout. So like, what can I do more? So like, go home.
I know. There is a certain thing of addiction with working out. Even though my husband and I just got in an argument today because he said I was addicted to working out. And I said, don't you call me. I don't know if I'm addicted. I totally said, don't ever say that to me again. And then here we are. I'm like, maybe. But don't tell him when he comes up. Okay. Moving on to the next question. And this is, well, it's not a question more than like a request, but please talk about steroids. And I'd like to start because I think that I don't know who out there listening or watching us is like me, but up until recently, I was very naive to the fact that anybody was taking any performance enhancing drugs. I considered steroid use like, I don't know, some injection that like huge bodybuilders do in order to attain that muscularity that you need to compete. What I've learned since is that it is so prevalent within the workout community, not just with competitors, but with anybody that's not anybody, with people that are trying to get into shape. And I also thought steroids was just like this injection, and that's the question, talk about steroids. But what I've since also learned is that there are a plethora of performance enhancing drugs that people are consuming or injecting that are helping them reach their goals, their physique goals, whatever that may be, right? Muscle building or fat loss or a combination or whatever. So I was so naive to it. In the competing world, it's very prevalent as well. And so that's where I've like learned kind of what it is, to certain degrees, sort of what some of the drugs are that people are taking. But anyway, you know more because you've been in this industry for so long.
And also in Brazil, it's very, very common. You don't even need to be a bodybuilder to take some. I have done 18 competition as bikini, and all my competition, I was natural. First, I have a lot of muscle maturity already when I start to compete. In my case always was to drop my muscles, so wasn't the case. Second, I didn't have money to afford even my vitamins.
They're very expensive.
Very expensive. And third, my coach was 100%, food and exercise. He didn't have the knowledge. I don't have the knowledge. I didn't have the money. And back to the days here, bikini wasn't the way that is now. So
meaning in today's bikini competitive world in bodybuilding, it's very muscular and very lean. And it's really hard to achieve those two things at once.
Yeah. So I didn't have depression when I was athlete. And now I don't have the point. Look my voice. If I take something... You guys gonna think that I'm a guy, Well, I'm a lady.
And because with some of these drugs, you get viralization. If you were to look at a bodybuilding competitor, a female bodybuilding competitor, I think sometimes you're like, oh, they look a little masculine, with masculine features, masculine voice, if you're listening to them talk. And a lot of that is because of the side effects of these drugs.
But for me, it was about everything, I just didn't see myself, and now it's... What the point, right? I'm a trainer. For me, it's about lifestyle. I'm already 38 years old. My message today when I'm going to talk about steroids, I'm not going to be against or I'm not going to support because first, I have no knowledge for that. To be honestly, what I know it's you need to be careful because every drug has a side effect. That means you need to understand what can happen to yourself and see if you are okay. You are okay about to see yourself change in that way. That I think is the first thing that you should ask yourself. If my hair fall and if my voice change, if I look like more muscular, you need to ask yourself if you're going to be okay with the change because it's going to be there forever.
And I think if I can just interject, some coaches, whether it be a bodybuilding coach or a lifestyle coach or a trainer, if somebody's telling you, here's a safe dosage or here's what you can take to achieve your results, these people are not medical experts and these drugs are not legal or indicated for why they would be prescribed to somebody who wants to take them off label. And so you're no matter what at some sort of risk, even if somebody's telling you it's okay or it's safe, or if we just do this much for this amount of time.
That was the second point, in my opinion.
Oh, sorry.
No. That it's good because we are connected. If you're gonna do it, do the safe way. We have now very good doctors that work with hormones. Go check yourself. Go see it. Have some divisions in bodybuilder that you have no way to go natural, but Andrea is doing like a natural, and she knows that has the benefit, and there's has the points that is gonna not gonna be not gonna helping her, but she make the decision, and she's happy with the decision. I think is the most important. But if you are looking for do something like that, I recommend you go to see a doctor. I recommend, because any of those bodybuilders are doing crazy stuff, by they have like the whole support, and who don't are dying. What I see right now, it's a lot of abuse, drug abuse, people who doesn't have knowledge, prescribe for the clients, for other people, and them, boom, that can cost your life, that can cost your build, that can cost your dream, because you didn't care enough about yourself to go for information. Because at the end of the day, doesn't matter who gonna recommend, it's your fault if you do something that are gonna affect you negativity, because you didn't go for information. Again, knowledge is freedom. So if what I wanna say about steroids is, do your diet first.
Yes.
I don't recommend even fat burner to my clients, to be honestly. When they come to ask me like, Mom, do you have anything that I can take to help? Like, yeah, do the work.
Right.
Take the decision that you want to look better, that you want to do better. Because I took for so many years when I was athlete.
Fat burner.
Fat burner. So I took fat burner for so many years when I was competing, and I don't take anymore. And guess what? My performance is still good. You got to the point that I don't even work it anymore, because you are taking. If you don't do your diet, if you don't do your cardio, doesn't matter what you take. You can take steroids, you can take the whole supplement, that they not going to work. So steroids, it is something that you need to be careful with. If you are thinking about to do it, go definitely have help for a professional, and make the decision based in everything, the side effects, what they can bring you, because sometimes I see like girls like not even do the diet, taking that shit.
And the side effects so often are irreversible. And also, I think that the one thing that I encourage people to consider is like, what happens afterwards? You're not going to be taking these drugs forever because of the side effects, because you will end up, with severe medical conditions or death. But
by the time, you're gonna be already addicted on the drug, because your performance is better when you are taking it. Your results are faster, and you just get it like, okay, you can come from like wow to like wow when you are not in the cycle. And for me, Anna, in particular, for all my clients, if the ones that is competing, or I want to see a long health life to them. So size, I don't know about it. I'm not a doctor, or I didn't have many years studying about it, hormones, and see what you need or what you should take. I'm prefer to be like on the old school, like workout and food.
exactly. Well, and with that, you build the habits, and you build the stamina, and you build like the long-term, commitment to your own health and fitness. Because again, when you are off the drugs, and even I think the same thing with people who take Ozempic,
Yep.
when you're done taking it, what happens? You haven't developed any healthy habits, or you haven't developed any discipline to changing your lifestyle, when you're off that drug, because eventually you will be, because there are side effects, like you said, with every single drug that would make it virtually impossible or difficult to stay on long term for life, you'll revert back to your old habits and you'll probably, rebound, gain more weight, feel terrible for the psychological and neurological effects of getting off those drugs. And then, and then what? And all for what? Right? Like for what?
What a point if everything that you're doing at the gym is building your confidence, your self love, make yourself better so you can love better yourself. If at the end of the day that is going to be a temporary,
it's really alluring to have a quick fix. It's really alluring to have these results of your body and you're like, wow, right? But I would argue it's even more rewarding to do it without anything, and in the confidence that you build and the discipline and all these things that come from digging deep within and being patient to wait for those results, it's hard to replace that.
Yeah, and again, we are not against or we are not favor. I just think you should, be careful. Yeah. First, with who recommend. Second, do
your research.
Yes, go for a professional and make sure if you are going to the way that you are, doing at the best way. Honestly, no, I don't think if you are not like a bodybuilder, very, competitive level, or you are not on the division that you need to have a lot of muscles. No, I don't think you need it. But again, that is only my opinion. I'm not against. I just think you should. That is something that you should thinking about it carefully.
Research and seek professional help. Yeah, I agree. I would also agree. I'm not for it or against it. To each their own. But just do your research. Okay, the last question that we have is a good one because this is something that you and I can definitely identify with, and I think most people can. But can you give us advice on how to deal with family and friends who do not eat healthy?
Don't be friends of them anymore and quit the relationship with your family. I'm joking, okay?
But it's a tough one that we all experience because, of course, not everybody's going to follow the same dietary habits or have the same goals or restrictions or,
And unfortunately, when you decide to do something big and hard for yourself, something that most people want to do and not do it, you're going to lose some friends. Because it's what happened. You change your habits. It is hard to catch up with them, especially because socialize means a table with food and drinks, and that is the most dangerous thing because you're talking and eating and drink in your brain not even realize that you're full already. So it's so easy to you go out of the way that you choose for yourself. But yeah, you make your choice, your family, your friends make their choice, and you still wanted to, have a good time with them. What I do is first I try to do things that it's not related with eat and drink. All my friends, when they came from Brazil, the first thing that I do is a membership at the gym. You want to hang out with me, you're going to work out with me at the gym. It is. Because I'm there the whole day. My free time, what I do, guess what? Working out. And it's the way that I have. Of course, I'm going to open some session and go out and have a dinner. But I think it is to find the way to socialize with them without necessarily be drinking and party and, bring them to your new world, And when you are with them, you don't need to drink and eat because everyone else is doing it. Remember that you have a goal and that's okay if your partner has a different goal. Because we came to this world separately. We have a different goals, and you need to do what is important to you. And you cannot be like on the situation that what your partner do is gonna affect it what you do. If you have a goal, it's not because you're Andrea. She's on prep. Okay, Adam loves chocolate. It's not because Adam's gonna have his chocolate every night that you're gonna cheat on your diet, you know, or that you're gonna get divorced because, like, if you not eat fish with me, it's not the way that a life,
Right.
happen. But Adam is going to the gym, is going for a walk with you, the same way that you bring your food for the restaurant to be with him when it's important for him. I think the best way to handle family and friends, it is find an alternative to hang out with them, but also be strong enough on your goals to be able to not do something because they are doing. So it's kind of you don't judge them, they don't judge you. And the good ones is gonna stay in your life. The ones that it was only there because the party or the good times, they're gonna leave, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think that I have a lot of experience with this because I've been in prep for
Ever.
the last 3 years, and also I went plant based. So a lot of course, like you mentioned, my social time was revolved around dinners, at friends' houses or at our house or out at restaurants, and definitely a lot of drinks. And I really did a 180 in the way that I eat and the way that I drink or not drink now. And I mean, I think that what I noticed was that there are going to be family members and friends that have a lot of comments about your new habits or your goals and the way that you want to eat healthy. For some reason, that's always so much more of a talking point rather than how unhealthy people eat. People will always want to acknowledge, like, oh, you're eating a salad, you're eating healthy today. Like, it's always like this sort of negative connotation.
But you know why that happened, right? It's automatically. It's because when you see the other person doing what you don't feel able to do it, that is the first way to like
a defense mechanism.
Yes.
I agree. And so there's always going to be those comments, right? And that just comes with, you just have to accept that that's going to come with it. And I don't think that these people necessarily are malintended or, meaning to disregard like your, strong willpower to eat healthy or to be prepared or to not want to eat certain things. It's just going to be the way it is. But I think that the people who care about you will ultimately start to understand, or if not understand, accept your goals and
respect
and your goals and the path that you're on and the decisions that you make to be a little bit healthier. And that's great. And those comments, in my experience, come less and less over time. And so I went from getting a lot of feedback from my friends and family about turning plant-based. And then I get a lot of feedback about how healthy I need to be for my competition prep and all of this stuff. And then I get a lot of comments about bringing my own food, but those become less and less and less. And what I've accepted now was that the people that I really love and care about and who really love and care about me don't say anything. But along that pathway, I've weeded out the people who had a lot to say and maybe weren't as close to me, right? So I think that just, when you have certain goals that you're working really hard towards, your circle probably gets a little bit smaller just by nature, and that's okay too. But I think that from somebody who brings my food with me 90% of the time I go out to eat, that's fine. I bring my food with me to restaurants. I bring my food with me to people's houses when I come over for dinner. I let them know in advance, so I'm not rude, but nobody cares. Nobody cares. And I get to eat my food and they get to eat whatever they want. And we all have a harmonious, nice outing together, and nobody cares about what the other person is doing. And we still very much enjoy the company. Now, I wish I could have a couple glasses of wine, but that's,
No.
that's another story. But you just accept it. And so do they. And it becomes easier and easier and easier. And the more convicted you are towards your goal and towards eating healthy, either ordering or bringing your own food, the more experience you have with that, the easier it's going to be.
And what I want to also give you here and like here so you can reflect about it. Are you having a hard time because they are not accepting your choice or because they are eating and you cannot eat? Because you need to understand that when you make a choice to be healthy, you're not going to go to a restaurant with your friends and they're not going to order the salad and the salmon with you. And maybe they're going to have, make some joking, and that's okay. Because again, you made your choice to be healthy. It's not about them. So sometimes we get frustrated because we are the only one who eating health and we want to eat what our friends and family are eating, or we are want to drinking and going crazy, and we felt like, oh, I can't, though, so they shouldn't. Don't go that way. Remember, when you make the decision to have a health lifestyle, you're gonna need to make your choice. Okay, today I'm gonna have a little bit more fun, but tomorrow back on track. Andrea is another case because she's a bodybuilder. But let's talk about me. My husband, he can eat whatever he wants. He has an amazing physique, super tight. He doesn't. It's hard for him to get weight, and I cannot step up with him and eat everything that he does. I feel fierce sometimes because he can eat the chocolate, I cannot, but it's my decision. I cannot ask him, like, don't bring it home because it's not fair. Wasn't he who made the decision? I need to have my mind strong enough to say, like, no, babe, I don't want, thank you. That is one thing. The wrong is when you made the decision and they try to force you to give it up about your goals. That is when it's wrong. So when you are going through this adaptation phase, let's say, because for you, you already find the way that you survive in your friend circle without to feel like you want to die.
Right.
Because at the beginning, it's the way that you feel.
I did feel like I wanted to die at the beginning. Yeah, it was hard.
So we need to thinking about this as well, because again, you cannot force our partner, our friends, our parents, nobody, to make the same choice that we think that is the best for them. It's not the way that works. And once you realize that it's not because they are eating that you need to eat, no, you don't want it. You want to have a six pack. You want to lose 10 pounds. Whatever you want to that moment is not it, and that's okay. So I just want to bring out that because sometimes we are just putting the fingers to the others and we forget we have four fingers point to us.
Right.
So that means we need to watch out also the way that we see the situation.
Yeah, I totally agree. And just like anything, the more that you make these decisions to either continue on your goals and make those healthy decisions despite what everybody else is doing or what they say, or the more that you decide to like not engage in the food that they're all eating, even though you really want to, but you're not doing it because you have goals, the easier it becomes. Just like anything over time, it just becomes the norm. And so we just encourage you to like stick with it and communicate your goals with your family and friends if you want to. And if you don't, and you just want to do your own thing, and whether they accept it or not, like that's okay too. Like you got to find what works for you in the situation, but don't, like Anna said, expect anybody to change or pursue the same goals that you have, because there are 7.5 billion people in this world and everybody's different,
Yeah. And if you be like strong enough to keep on your goal, on your way, you're gonna end up bringing one, two friends to,
you'll inspire them.
Yeah, you're gonna inspire them without you need to do anything, just by doing your part for yourself.
Exactly. Great point. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that was fun. Those are all the questions that we have. We enjoyed it so much and we loved getting all the questions from you guys. So if we didn't answer your question in today's episode, it will be on a future episode. If you are watching this and you have any questions that you'd like to ask, put them in the comments below if you're on YouTube, or send us a DM on Instagram at Behind the Bod, and we will make sure we get those answered. But it's fun. It's great to hear from you guys and what you want to know. And I hope it was helpful just to hear our perspectives. And
yes, and again, we sometimes one topic became like 10, but I think it's the way that we actually want to be. We want to be real. We don't want to bring it like, something like prepared, be robotic. No, it's our perspective, is the way that we talk when we don't have a camera. And we just want to bring the conversation, maybe help to open up a little bit your mind, helping open up our mind as well. Because I was telling Andrea, it has been a therapy for myself sometime. It is so good to see that, the informations I learn every time that I sit here to record it for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy the way that we put the informations together. And we pretend to do this Q&A many more times. So yeah, just interact with us, send to us on the Instagram, here on the YouTube. Make sure you're gonna subscribe and like.
if you haven't already. Okay, well, with that, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And we will talk to you next time on the next episode of Behind the Body.
Bye.
Bye.